we want to get started. We want to get started, guys, and hello, everybody. My name is Jeff Sturman, and we are pleased today to have with us Amelie Dubois, Regent Seven Seas National Accounts Manager. And my name is Jeff Sturman, and along with my wife, Ruth, we are the owners of Best Cruises and Tours and cruises-to-alaska.com. And no, I am not actually in Alaska right now. I'm in, unfortunately, New Jersey, okay? So first of all, most importantly, I want to hope everybody is healthy and staying safe. And of course, thank you for taking time today to attend our Regent Alaska seminar. So a little bit of housekeeping for this session. Everybody will be muted. If you have a question, you can use the Q&A button at the bottom of the Zoom window. You can type in questions at any time. And at the end, we'll go over as many as we can that we have time for. And if we haven't had time for your question, we will answer it personally. So after this webinar, also within, I would say, probably 24 hours, you'll get an email from us with links to everything we're about to go over. Pricing, departure dates, details about our special offers, our contact information, and more. So for those of you that don't know us well, Best Cruises and Tours has been in business close to 30 years. We have sent over 110,000 of your friends and neighbors on vacations all over the world. And we are one of the largest volume independent travel agencies in New Jersey. We're members of the Better Business Bureau. We're rated A+. We enjoy top producer status with most of the major cruise lines and travel suppliers. Now, when we started our business, excuse me, in the early 90s, Alaska had always intrigued me as a destination. I made my first trip to Alaska in 1995. I was so impressed that we began booking vacations to Alaska immediately, and our business has been growing ever since. We developed an Alaska brand called cruises-to-alaska.com, and we now hold the distinction of being one of the largest Alaska travel suppliers in the Northeast. And to date, our agency has successfully sent almost 15,000 clients on memorable vacations to Alaska. We're members of the ATIA, which is the Alaska Tourism Industry Association. We're members of the ACVB, which is the Anchorage Convention and Visitors Board. All of our travel advisors have been to Alaska, can offer insight based on firsthand experience. I personally have made over 35 trips to Alaska, and I am a certified Alaska expert with the Alaska State Travel Industry Association. And actually, Alaska is my favorite place in the whole world. So interest in Alaska has been growing and growing and growing over the last decade. The number of Alaska visited have exceeded 2 million per year. And over the last few years, 50% of them, at least 50%, a little more, have visited Alaska on cruise ships. So why do you think that interest in travel to Alaska has continued to increase? Well, there are many reasons. We're going to leave the reasons of the pandemic out of this, but there are many reasons why increase in the interest of going to Alaska has skyrocketed. We feel there's really two important ones. There is a worry about climate change affecting the landscape of Alaska. Many of the glaciers are receding, and there are even reports of the permafrost being affected. And the effect of climate change is exacerbated as you get closer and closer to the poles. So we're very concerned about that. The second reason is that we've seen attempts to open previously protected areas for oil drilling and for mining. And Alaska is really an extraordinary place with its spectacular natural wonders It's open spaces, it's magnificent wilderness, and people want to see Alaska before these factors start to affect the Alaska landscape and the wilderness and the wildlife. So we're here this morning because we're interested in learning about the Regent Seven Seas Alaska program for 2022. Regent features a small ship, all-inclusive, intimate, ultra-luxury Alaska experience. So to introduce you to the Regent Alaska program, I will turn over our meeting to Amelie Dubois, and she is our Regent contact.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very honored to be here with Jeff and his team because they are true experts when it comes to Alaska. 35 cruise, you said, 35 trip to Alaska. So they really have the experience, and I know that you're going to be in great hands if you book with Jeff and his team. And I think it's very important nowadays to find a good travel agent that will allow you to have a beautiful experience. They're going to share all their insight about the destination. And nowadays, you know, with all the restrictions and the different rules and policies, it's very important to have somebody professional to take care of your priceless vacation. So it's very, you know, I'm very honored to be here with Jeff. I deal with a lot of travel agents, but I can tell you that Best Cruises and Cruises to Alaska are really, truly professional to help you with your vacation. So thank you, Jeff, for having me and for allowing me to do this presentation. So I'm here to talk to you about Regent Seven Seas because we can see that more and more people want to kind of give up on the big ship and go on smaller ship. We see a big trend, and that's why Jeff asked me to come and present Regent, because he can see that trend. But before going to that, I just wanted to touch base a little bit about safety, because I know it's a concern right now and everybody has questions. Many things are changing every day, and from now to next summer, I don't know what's gonna be happening. So I'm not gonna go in depth into the program, but something, for example, that will stay forever, and to me, it's a great announcement. It's the fact that we are changing all the air filters on board, and they're going to be hospital grade filters. So no germs will passing through the AC. And that's important. And that's not something we're going to change. So the ship will be very clean, more clean than they've ever been. And we are putting a lot of announcement on board. Of course, we are a luxury cruise line. So for us, safety, it's extremely important. That's why we are not on the water yet, because we needed to make sure that we have 100% safety on board to make sure you have an arrival experience when you board the ship. So Regent Seven Seas, who are we? We are a very small cruise line, and that's why we are not very well known, because we only have 5 very small ships, as you can see here next to those big guys. We are that little one right here between 490 and 750 guests. The ship we use to go to Alaska is 700 guests, but this is the biggest safety you can have when it comes to cruising. We don't embark 3,000 to 5,000 people. So on embarkation day, during dining, during entertainment, you will never face crowded environment, and that's very important. I was talking to Jeff, and I remember going with my family. We have 2 beautiful daughters, and when going to the buffet in the morning, it was a hassle. I sent my husband with one of the daughter on the left. I was going on the right, and the first one to find a table, send the daughter to get them back. That's not the experience we have with Regent, not at all. This is not what you're gonna have when you're gonna be boarding Regent. no crowd, no need to book or get a table. Like, there is a table for everybody. The entertainment, there is space for everybody. And I think, to me, that's the biggest safety that we can offer you on board. And that's what we call the unrivaled space at sea. Enough space to relax, explore the world in the maximum comfort that you can get. And Regent Seven Seas, to us, we are really trying to give the unrivaled experience. We want you to enjoy your vacation without hassle or limitation. Just, enjoy. It's been a year and a half that we haven't cruised, and I think we all deserve a nice vacation. And having the ability to enjoy every single moment without questioning, and just enjoying your time, your priceless time, because time is very precious. And it's very important to know that you will be in great hands with Regent, enjoying your vacation. But how can we deliver an unrivaled experience? Because it's easy to say, but what do we do exactly to provide you with that kind of experience? And the biggest point, to me, it's the immersive exploration. We all travel, we all want to immerse ourselves with the culture, the local history. And even in Alaska, when you get to the pier, there is not much. It's Alaska, so you really need to go on excursion and explore more. And Regent Seven Seas include all your excursions. It's free, unlimited shore excursion. Some of them are for the entire day. Some of them are just 3 hours. So if you want to do 2 excursions a day, you can. And in Alaska, we do have, throughout the entire season, we have 244 different free excursions, which is one of the most selection we have in the world. So you will have so many different opportunities to explore and immerse yourself with the culture and the Alaskan history. The second pillar is the service. As a luxury brand, service is extremely important. Our ships are very small, but we do have a lot of crew on board. So the ratio crew to guests, it's 1 crew member for 1.4 guests. So imagine, we know who you are, we know what you like, and when you come back from excursion and you like to have your hot cocoa delivered to your room, you're gonna have that every day. It's a very personalized service, but it's not too much. It's not invasive. All our butlers are coming from a butler school in London. The training with Regent is very strict, and I can speak for myself. Even in sales, it was very strict. So you're going to be in great hands from the moment you're going to embark the ship to the moment you're going to disembark. You're going to have an amazing experience. And again, nowadays, you need to know you're going to be in great hands. We're going to take care of you no matter what happens in the world. We're going to have a good care of our guests on board. The third pillar that you can see right here, it's the luxurious suites. I'm not going to show them to you right now because I'm going to do a mini ship tour later. But it's in Alaska, we have 100% balconies, and 99% of our fleet is balcony only. We just have a couple of ocean views in another ship. But to us, it's important because we know that you need to explore, and even from the ship, when you are in your balcony, you are already embracing the scenery, the landscape. So it's part of the experience. So I can't wait to show you the suites, very spacious suite. But the next pillar that you have right here, it's the culinary program. And that's, to me, that's the future of my vacation. I love the good food. You can hear my accent. I'm from France. My mom was a chef. Well, yeah, she's retired now. So she was a chef, and eating for us, it's very important. And that's funny because I was talking about this presentation with my husband last night. I'm just back from my vacation in North Carolina, and it was amazing. But guess what? Everything was full. The excursion, we tried to do rafting, we tried to do zip lining. It was sold out. Restaurants were sold out. Even to go, they say, no, we are understaffed. We can't serve you. I'm like, we are just asking oyster and crab. Like, you don't really need big cooking. No, we are understaffed. We can't. So this is very important because I just told you my vacation, it's all about eating. I was very disappointed. I was disappointed that I couldn't do all the activities. Here with Regent, you have all your excursions included, short group, small group, sorry, and the meals are just very, very, very extremely good. We are luxury cruise line, so we take high quality of food. We have Michelin star chef menu. But what I have to say, what I like is that on board Regent, you are your own Michelin star chef. If you want to have the risotto, but you don't want asparagus risotto and you want mushroom risotto, you can customize all your plate. Why? Because as I said, we have a small ratio guest to staff. So we have enough crew member to customize every plate. It's not just a galley and you go and pick the plate. No, we customize every plate. So food is extremely important and it's the highlight of my vacation. We also have 24-hour room service. So if you are tired or even if you're in front of a glacier and you want to order your breakfast from the comfort of your own room, you can do that. We don't charge for that. We don't charge for minibar. You can drink as much as you want. You can call the room service. It is included. And again, that's important because sometimes for breakfast, maybe you don't want to be with too many people around you, or you just want to enjoy the view and the scenery from the comfort of your own room. So that's a good perk. And last but not least is the fact that Regent Seven Seas is a truly all-inclusive experience. And when I say truly, it's because I work for many cruise line, well, not many cruise line, but for other cruise line who are claiming they are all-inclusive, but they are not inclusive as we are. When we talk about excursion, it's not a shipboard credit. We do include your excursions. When we talk about beverage, it's not just a package, which is very limited. It's all your beverage. So with Regent Seven Seas, we do include your air. And for Alaska and Caribbean here in the US, it's economy air, but we have a surprise for you at the end of this presentation. We do include the transfers, the excursions, beverages, open bar, prepaid gratuities are included as well. So you don't have the surprise to pay for your gratuities at the end of the trip. Specialty dining, you don't need to pay for that. The Wi-Fi, the valet laundry is included as well. And if you take a concierge class, you have one pre-night hotel. If you don't want it, that's fine. We're gonna give you a credit for that, but it is included as well. So as you can see, when you have all those inclusion, it's a seamless experience. The only thing you would have to pay would be the casino or the spa, but that's it, you know. And even that, we have a surprise for you because Jeff, as he said, is one of the high producer in Northeast, and he has a lot of perks with the cruise line. So we have a lot of surprises for you that Jeff negotiated for you, right, Jeff?
Yes, yes.
But let me show you, for 2022, we're going to be embarking the Seven Seas Mariner for Alaska. As I said, very small ship, only 700 guests, 48,000 tons, and welcome on board the Seven Seas Mariner. Very friendly crew. We welcome you with a glass of champagne, again, and that's the distinction. This is not sparkling wine. This is a true champagne, and all our crew will be there to welcome you on board. And look at this atrium, just beautiful. And I'm starting the presentation by the dining venues because now you understand that food is important to me. So the dining room is just, what I like is it feels like home. It's very comfy, very homey. It's beautiful. Look at the ceiling, white glove service. It's not, as you can see, the tables are not next to each other. We have space. We have Riedel wine glasses. We have Versace plates. So very luxury dining room. Oh, and something that I forgot, because I mentioned that to my coworker. Regent Seven Seas, one of the point of Regent Seven Seas is that it's open seating, and many cruise line, you have to choose between first or second dining, and you need to respect that, and you can change that during your vacation. With Regent, you go whenever you want. You don't have to pre-book, or it's not formal dining. It's you go and we know you are explorers, you are exploring Alaska. You don't need to wear those tuxedo, and you just go as you feel like going. We do have also a buffet if you don't want to have the dining room, but as you can see, it's not like a buffet with those cold tables and noise everywhere. You can see the white tablecloth, and that buffet actually change into sette mari at night if you want to enjoy nice seafood. We do also include specialty dining, and on the Mariner you have chartreuse, which in English should be chartreuse, but it's a French word, so that's I finally have a good pronunciation for that, chartreuse, which is a French alcohol that you find actually in the Alps. So that's the Alaskan feeling. But chartreuse, which is more a French, it's not a bistro because it's high scale food with those gold plates. And we also have the Prime 7 if you want to enjoy a nice steak or lobster or Alaskan crab. You will have that at Prime 7. You can pre-book one of each specialty dining before you go. And I've got a little secret. As soon as you get on board, you can go see the Maître D'. If there is more space, you can book it for every night. So, but that stays between you and I. And we do have now outdoor space because with COVID, we realized that people may want more space. They may want to enjoy more outdoor space, and we're going to keep that forever. So you do have on other cruise line a grill with a burger and a hot dog. That's not what it is with Regent. It is a true nice dinner with a bar a salad bar. You do have burgers, but you have a lot of selection if you want to eat outside as well. Nice coffee connection. If you are coming back from your excursion and you want to enjoy a nice hot cocoa or cappuccino, it is included and you don't need to pay for that. And of course, you have all those bakery items with chocolate croissant and mini chocolate pies and nice afternoon snack there as well. We have the observation lounge for you to have a drink if you don't want to be in your room or if you don't want to be on the deck. We do have the observation lounge for you to enjoy a drink with people and have that beautiful view. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I know we are on a small ship, but we do have entertainment. And that is actually a misconception because I'm coming from a big cruise line and I thought that small ships were boring, but not at all. We do have everything big ships have. We do have nice entertainment with nice production. We do have a casino if you want to take a chance at the roulette. We do have a shopping area. We have a spa. And we do have lecturers. And this is very important because our clients are true explorers and the lecturers are true destination experts that will give you more insight on the destination, the culture. They will really share their different stories and that will allow you to immerse yourself with the destination that you are visiting. And we have a very good naturalist, Terry Bean, that I'm going to talk to you about a little bit later for Alaska. We do have an outdoor deck with mini golf, shuffleboard, and a pool area for those of you who may want to go. Let me tell you, I was in North Carolina last week and the water was 55 degrees and we went and we did the river experience. So why not enjoying the pool here in Alaska? So the suite, I told you that this is one of our pillars with Regent Seven Seas. So I'm not going to show you all the suites because we're going to spend time here, but this is the biggest suite just for you to see it, because you may not have the opportunity to sail on this ship, but on this suite. But this is a 1,200 square feet suite with two different balconies. One is 700 square feet and the other one is 71 square feet. 2-bedroom rooms. So that's really the most luxurious suite at sea that we have with Regent. But we do have different suites. As you can see, this is a penthouse and it's 376 square feet inside, 73 square feet for the balcony. And this is our entry stateroom. Look at that. It's 301 square feet, which is almost double on that what premium cruise line are offering. It's 252 square feet inside, 49 square feet outside. This is the deluxe veranda or the concierge. They are both the same. The concierge just give you extra amenities. As I told you before, you have one pre-night before the cruise. You can pre-book your excursion 365 days before the departure. You can pre-book your specialty dining as well. So many amenities included with the concierge, but the same stateroom. As you can see, there is a nice living room space. And as I said, if you want to have your breakfast, you don't need to have a small table and try to have your breakfast from your room. You do have space to enjoy the scenery if you want to stay in the comfort of your own room. So now let's get to Alaska. Alaska, beautiful destination. If you really want to relax, enjoy, rewind, it's all about the scenery, the landscape, the wildlife, so many good things. To me, it's, you know, how to recharge your batteries. Alaska, it's a beautiful destination. We do have two different cruise to Alaska. You have the northbound, which is from Vancouver to Seward, and you have the different dates here below for the northbound. And we do also have the southbound going from Seward to Vancouver. And this one has one change, which is a stop to Sitka. The most important thing when it comes to Regent Seven Seas is that we have 5 stops and only one day at sea. And that day at sea will be to enjoy right here, the inside passage. So you truly have the time to really embrace the destination. It's not just 3 stops and then the rest at sea. That's not what it is. And that's very important, because if you want to Alaska, you really want to immerse yourself with the destination. And that's what we are offering you in Alaska. But I know Jeff is an expert when it comes to Alaska, and he knows much more than what I do. So Jeff, I'm heading it to you.
Okay, Amelie, thank you. So I just want to reiterate what you said, that I am very pleased with the Alaska itinerary for the Regent. As you said, we are busy in 4 different spots, and the one day, which is cruising in the Inside Passage, either to or from Vancouver, happens to be an excellent opportunity to see orcas. So, and the captain will point them out, or the naturalist will point them out, and everybody will come running up on deck to look. So it's just a great itinerary. So just for the time frame I'm going to review with you guys the southbound trip, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that later. So the southbound trip starts in Seward, and Seward is one of the deep water ports for Alaska. Anchorage is just it has tide differences that don't allow the ships other than the commercial ships to dock there. So we go from Seward, and Seward is really an interesting place. It's, as you can see, it's at the south central tip of Alaska. So we get on our ship and overnight, and our first day is our day of spectacular glacier cruising. And we visit Hubbard Glacier, which is actually the longest tidewater glacier in Alaska. It's 76 miles long. It starts in the Yukon Territory in Canada and has you're looking at a 6-mile calving face. And because we're on a small ship, we can get closer to the glacier than the big ships. And our onboard naturalist will be narrating the visit to the glacier over the ship's PA system. It's a spectacular, spectacular day. And of course, we're looking for the glacier to calve. And calving means when pieces of that glacier will fall off the glacier into the water, and it makes a cracking thunder sound. And it's just an amazing natural experience. We keep our fingers crossed that that's going to be occur, and the ship will do 360s. It'll turn around. So everybody on the ship, no matter where they are, will be able to have terrific views. That being said, most of the guests, weather permitting, will be up on the top and oohing and eyeing, and it's a great day, which is our day of glacier cruising. So we then move on, and our next day, we head to Sitka. And Sitka is an island community that's between the mountains and the sea. It's surrounded by rainforest. As you can see on all these slides, Amelie has listed groups of the included excursions. So you can just have a look. I'm not going to review every one of them, but just it's interesting to see all the things that Regent provides. So the Russians arrived in Sitka way back in the 18th century, and the native culture still thrives there, the Native Americans. And Sitka is known for its eclectic blend of the Native Americans, the Russians, and the American history. We love Sitka. It's a fascinating stop. Our next stop is in Juneau, and Juneau is Southeast Alaska's largest town. It's the capital of Alaska. It's interesting, as it's the most isolated state capital in the world. You can't get to Juneau by road. You have to go to Juneau it's only accessible by plane or by boat. And there is a glacier in the Juneau city limits called Mendenhall Glacier, a good-sized glacier. It's 13 miles from Center City. So this allows you to get up close and personal with the glacier, and you have different opportunities. You can take a coach to the visitor center and then do a short walk to the foot of the glacier. You could take a hike through the areas around the glacier, or you could take a helicopter over the Juneau ice fields, and the Juneau ice fields are the size of the state of Rhode Island, and actually land on the glacier. So there's all different types of activities you can do. And just also for your information, Juneau has some of the best whale watching in the world. We've experienced in Juneau different behaviors that you really only see on the naturalist programs. We've watched bubble net feeding, we've watched whales breaching. So there's so much to do in Juneau. It's a great stop. Our next stop is Skagway, and Skagway is a great stop. It retains the flavor of the gold rush, and it's preserved as a national historic park and features one of the oldest narrow gauge railroads in the country. It was a gateway to the Klondike for the stampeders in the gold rush of the 1890s. And in its heyday, this little town had more than 80 bars. So it features excellent excursions that relive the fascinating part of our history. And you can see in Amelie's picture that narrow gauge rail that goes up the White Pass. And it's a narrated trip and goes all through the gold rush history. So it's, once again, a great stop. And you can see some of the different options for excursions that you can do in Skagway. And our next stop is Ketchikan. And Ketchikan is pretty fascinating. It was started out as a Tlingit Native American fishing camp and boasts the largest collection of totem poles in the world. And its setting is fascinating. It's in the middle of the largest national forest in the United States. It's called the Tongass National Forest. It stretches more than 500 miles along Alaska's Inside Passage, and it is a rainforest, but it's not a tropical rainforest like South America. It is a temperate rainforest, and you can learn all about this geology in Ketchikan. They have a visitor center, which is a short walk from the pier, and learn all about this stuff. And once again, the excursions that are available are listed. Now, Ketchikan also had a pretty rough and ready past, and in its heyday, there's an area called the Creek Street area, and in its day, they had more than 30 brothels in in this little town. So then we continue our cruise through the Inside Passage, and we finish in Vancouver. And as I mentioned before, that's our one day at sea officially. We have a day at sea where we're doing glacier cruising, but this is a day at sea, and we get opportunity of seeing orcas. It's very prevalent there. And we finish our trip in Vancouver. And we had mentioned our naturalist, and this is her. Her name is Terry Breen, and she is an Alaska expert. She'll be on board the entire trip, and she will be doing, she will be lecturing and assisting with when we getting to arrive at a port, what we should do and see. And that's our trip. Once again, I'm personally, as an Alaska expert, thrilled with the cruise itinerary.
And Jeff, if I may, Regent Seven Seas really try to take the best of the best for our lecturer. And Terry Breen has been fantastic. She's a naturalist, and she has a doctoral studying specifically southeast of Alaska. So she will share a lot of the destination, the geography, the ecology, the history, the culture, and giving a lot of insight. A lot of the comments, if you want to be on the deck watching the scenery, you will hear her comments on the deck, but if you're in your room, you can also hear the comments as well. So it's going to be all over the ship. But that's really one of the big points with Regent Seven Seas, to have such a professional that will enhance your Alaskan experience, because she's a true experienced lecturer, and we don't go to Alaska every year, and she will, thanks to her, you will really be able to immerse yourself with the Alaskan culture.
Okay. So,
and, yeah,
yes.
the next step, Jeff, will be the pre and post cruise tour. And I just wanted to mention something, because I know you did that many times, but before we get to the cruise tour itself, I had a meeting yesterday with Revenue, and we were talking about our Alaska season 2022. Many people missed it in 2020. Many people missed it in 2021. So it is, people are really booking for 2022. And because they already paid for 2020, 2021, we can see that many people are adding the land package. So it's getting very popular. And that's why if we want to look into that, we have to look into that in the next couple of days or months, because Alaska is getting very popular. And if you are going to Alaska, it's good to be enjoying the coast, but also go in the interior of Alaska and truly immerse yourself with the Alaskan land culture as well. But Jeff, I let you talk about that, because you know more than I do.
Yes. So, so one of the things that we absolutely recommend, of course, is based on your time constraints and so forth, is to spend a couple of days in the Alaska interior as well. So Regent has a very nice package, which is basically a 4-night, 5-day package. And the main thing we want to see and do and experience in Alaska is Denali National Park and the corridor from Fairbanks down to Anchorage and to Seward. So I'm going to go through this a little quickly, and we can, if we're interested, we can discuss it. You know, we're going to be all available. So there's 2 ways to do this. If you were traveling on a northbound cruise, then you would finish your cruise and then travel up through Anchorage, Taukitna, Denali, and Fairbanks. Or you could do it the way we have it right here, which where we start our trip in Fairbanks, travel southbound and get on the ship in Seward and continue southbound and finish in Vancouver. Personally, I like this one a little better. Why? Because the land program is a little more structured. It's there's times you got to get up early in the morning, and you're pretty busy on the land, and then you can kind of relax a little bit on the ship. So we're going to talk about this, but just so you know, it's available in both directions. So we arrive in Fairbanks on day 1, and it's really a day of kind of catching up, because let's remember there is a 4-hour time difference between the East Coast and Alaska. You're picking up 4 hours in time change. So if you arrive there at 8 o'clock at night, your body has you at 12 o'clock at night. So our first day is really a traveling day, an arrival day, and we overnight there. Now Fairbanks is pretty interesting. It's Alaska's 2nd largest city. It's located right in the middle of Alaska. It's 188 miles from the Arctic Circle, and we have seen crazy temperature swings. The summer, I've been there when it kind of approached 90, and then in the winter, where I haven't been there, it's can approach a minus 40 degrees. So these are crazy temperature swings. Long summer days. In June and July, you get about 20 up to 21 hours of daylight, and we use that day to kind of catch up. Our second is a full day of sightseeing, which includes a city tour, tour to Trailbreaker Kennels. Learn all about dog mushing. Dog mushing is the sport that the Alaskans are passionate about, and it's really pretty interesting to see the way they care for the dogs and the way they train the dogs. It was a very it's a wonderful day, and we, as I said, it's a full day, and we have our second overnight in Fairbanks. Head to coach by Dan. Just I didn't mention, the land portion is fully escorted by an Alaskan guide who not somebody that they bring in. It's somebody that has lived there all their lives, and I have interviewed their guides. They are spectacular. Anyway, we arrive in second night in Fairbanks, head by coach to Denali, and Denali is just an unbelievable national park. It encompasses 6 million acres. The state of Connecticut, it has one road going into it, which is only semi-paved. And of course, we have in Denali National Park, North America's highest mountain, and you can see, you see it behind me, and that's Denali. It's over 20,320 feet. It's the wonderful array of wildlife. Denali Big Five: bears, gray wolves, caribou, moose, Dall sheep. Scenery is spectacular, and the visit to Denali could be one of the highlights of your Alaskan adventure. Escorting your tour into Denali as I said, there's one road, is a interactive naturalist who's trained for years to, and they're narrating the trip the entire way. You're actually on a redone school bus, and there are screens that will come down, and the naturalist has a camera that can spot up to a couple of miles away. So if the bear are not performing for you right outside the bus, you'll be able to see them in their natural habitat. And the tour that Regent provides is called a natural history tour. It goes it's about 4.5 hours, 5 hours. Just so you know, every hour and a half, there's a very comfortable rest stop. And it goes, I would say, about 30 miles into the park. There is an upgrade available called the Tundra Wildlife Search, and I'm going to recommend that. And you can arrange that with your tour director. And that changes the tour to a 7.5 to 8 hour tour. It goes over 60 miles into the park. The road is no longer paved. It is a spectacular part of the Alaskan adventure, where you are into this tundra, and you have your best chance of seeing the wildlife that tour. And that's available. I don't think it's a significant upgrade. I should know what it is, but I don't. So anyway, we have that spectacular day in Denali, and we overnight in Denali. And the next day we take our rail adventure, and the rail adventure goes from Denali to Taukitna. And as you can see, these are domed rail cars with the 360-degree viewing because of that wraparound glass construction. And we arrive in Taukitna and transfer to the Taukitna Alaskan Lodge, which is probably one of the nicest accommodations in all of Alaska. Let me do a little digression here. We talked about ultra luxury and spectacular amenities on our Regent ship. Let's remember, we are in Alaska, and there are no Ritz-Carltons in Alaska. So our accommodations are comfortable, clean, but they are lodges. So we've got to understand and have our expectations that our ultra luxury experience will have to wait till we get onto our cruise ship. Anyway, we're at Taukitna Lodge, which happens to be a lovely lodge. And there's a reception, and there's some time on your own to explore Taukitna, which is really a cute little town. I don't know if you remember the TV show Northern Exposure, but Taukitna was an inspiration for that show. So it's really a cute little town. Amazing scenery. If the mountain decides to come out, which one of the things when you have a mountain that's over 20,000 feet, they make their own weather. So we can't guarantee that you're going to see it, but it's amazing scenery from the Taukitna Alaska Lodge. So we overnight Taukitna. We head by coach to Anchorage for a brief orientation there and a little sightseeing tour, and present some of the highlights of Anchorage. And then you also will have lunch there. You're going to have lunch on Best Cruises and Tours at the Glacier Brew House. The lunch is not included in the regular.
That's what I wanted to say, Jeff. Where is that coming from?
Yes, it's coming, and the Glacier Brew House is my favorite place to eat in the whole world. So we'll have lunch at the Glacier Brew House. Then we will continue on. We'll make a stop at this Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center, which is the chance to see the indigenous animals that are being cared for, and the purpose is that for later release into the wild. And it's pretty spectacular. We saw them develop a herd of bison that they were then going to reintroduce where they had disappeared. So we then continue on to Seward, and scenery is spectacular. The roads we're traveling on, you're on the Seward Highway, which is designated a Alaska Scenic Byway. You're going past spots like Beluga Point. It's just some amazing scenery on this coach ride down to Seward, where we board our ship in time for dinner. So that's one of the add-ons that we have. We also, Regent has a very nice trip, Canadian Rockies, that we would do either pre or post in Vancouver. And this is a little more extensive trip. This is 6 nights instead of 4 nights. And Amelie, if you would just briefly run through this, I think, if you would mind.
Oops. So for the Canadian Rockies, we are using Rocky Mountaineer, which is one of the best operators there. We do offer 5 or 6 nights, depending on the time that you have. If you are going southbound, then you're going to go from Vancouver to Calgary. But if you are doing the northbound cruise, you're going to start in Calgary going to Vancouver. I like the eastbound personally because the scenery is very different. It's the same, obviously, but you're going to start with the hills, and the hills going to become mountains, and the mountains going to become glaciers, and the wildlife become more abundant. So I like the Vancouver to Calgary. Of course, it starts right here by the pier. When you disembark the ship, you're gonna go cross the street to the Fairmont Waterfront Signature Hotel, which has a beautiful view, and it's very convenient, close to the ship, and you will enjoy a free night on your own. You have so many different restaurants, breweries in Vancouver. And don't forget the Canadian dollar, it's weak, so you can have more for your money as well. So that's a nice perk. But we have exclusive Regent Seven Seas tour by motor coach. You will go across the Lion Gate Bridge heading north Vancouver, and you will have 2 of the most popular attractions that will be included, which is the Capilano Suspension Bridge, right here on the main picture, and a sky gondola ride to the peak of Grouse Mountain for a beautiful view here in Vancouver. The day after, you're gonna board the Rocky Mountaineer Railroad train, which is the gold leaf experience. You have the silver and the gold. The gold experience have the glass dome train, which allow you to have a 360 view of this beautiful scenery. And it's all about landscape. As I said, you're gonna see canyons and rivers and waterfalls and wildlife. So it's important to have access to that. And downstairs, it's actually the dining room. As you can see right here, we have fine dining with local food. So if you are having the breakfast, you're gonna have moose sausage. If you are having the lunch, you're gonna have fresh halibut. The alcohol is also included. You don't have to spend anything on board. And just to give you a difference, this is the gold leaf experience, and this is the silver leaf experience. So very upscale experience here with this motor coach. And look at the view. As I said, it's going very, very slow, so you can really enjoy the views. And if it's not fast, so we don't scare the animals, and you can see more of the wildlife. So that's important. The first stop will be in Kamloops. We don't want to overnight on the train, because if you overnight on the train, you don't see the scenery, you are sleeping. So we prefer to stop in Kamloops. We're gonna give you your key room right in the train, so you don't need to check in at the hotel. Something very important is that you don't need to carry your luggage either. We have the motor coach following us. Your luggage will be waiting for you in your room. So you just take your belonging, your camera, different layers, of clothes and your medicine. You don't need to take too much on the train. Then we're gonna sleep. So the day after, we're gonna have the breakfast on the train, and then we will reach Banff. In Banff, we're gonna be transferred to the Rimrock Resort, which is a very nice hotel, arriving around 6 or 7 p.m. in Banff, overnight there. And the day after, you're gonna have a tour with a very good, very nice motor coach. You have liquor on the motor coach, a beverage, a restroom, leather seats, TVs, and it's going to be escorted by our guide who will be able to answer all your questions that you have. That motor coach will bring you up to the Ice Explorer, which is up there, a glacier. This is the Ice Explorer, which looks like a monster truck. But as I said, you will need several layers because, of course, on a glacier, you have snow all year long. So it's very important that you don't forget about that, or you're going to be very cold and you're not going to enjoy the experience. You're going to enjoy the lunch at the Icefield venue there, which is the only venue. And then going down, we're going to do different stops so you can really enjoy the beautiful lakes, embrace the scenery, take picture and breathe some fresh air here, and going down to Lake Louise. For those of you who will stay 6 nights, you will stay at the Fairmont Hotel in Lake Louise. For those of you who are staying 5 nights, we're going to go back to Banff. Lake Louise, we're going to spend time there. You can go around the property, but I would highly recommend to enjoy the outdoor activities. You have a 30-minute walk around the lake to go to the waterfall, enjoy. You can also take the kayak and go on the lake. Lake Louise is really, really beautiful. So I would really enjoy my time outside with those outdoor activities. The Fairmont is beautiful, but it's you know, it's a hotel. We're gonna go back then that night to Banff, as I said, to the Rimrock Hotel. You can use your key room to take the bus and go downtown, enjoy the city, spend the night there, and the day after, we're gonna have a motor coach tour, bringing us to different waterfall. And here we're gonna have the Banff gondola to the top of Sulphur Mountain, where you will experience a stunning bird's eye view of 6 incredible mountain ranges from up there. And then, you know, we're gonna be driving back to Calgary, which is the final stop of that package before you go back home. Calgary, that's the last stop. And as Jeff mentioned, it can be a long flight to go, depending on where you are from. If you are here in New Jersey, if you are in Miami, it's a long flight to get to Alaska. And Regent Seven Seas has a special offer that gives you the free upgrade to first class air. So that's a huge perk, because first, you don't want to get to Alaska and be too tired to start your cruise tour, your land package. And then when you finish your experience and you had such a good time, you don't want to go back home and be so tired because of that huge trip. So the first class here, it's a huge enhancement that we have if you book until August 17. And we do also have a 50% reduced deposit right now, which at the end of the day, you don't need to give us a lot of money up front. It's 15%, 50% reduced deposit we're going to talk about that right now. You have until 120 days before the cruise to cancel if you don't want to go. The only fee that we keep, it's $100 per person admin fee, but we give it back to you as a future cruise credit for a future cruise if you are not ready to cruise yet. So there is no risk. You can wait up to 120 days before the sailing to take your decision to stay. But as I was talking before, we have a lot of people from 2020, 2021 that are booking 2022, and so many clients joining from the premium cruise line who wants a small experience, a small ship with a lot of space. So that's something to consider as well. So Jeff, I'm going to let you talk about your package and all the extra perks that you get and you negotiated from with us.
Well, thank you, Amelie. And so just some final thoughts, really. Alaska is the perfect destination for travel in these times. We discussed this. There's no overseas flying. It's the United States. It's safe. Alaska is big. You can fit the state of Texas into Alaska twice. The population of the entire country of Alaska is 700,000 in the whole country, and population of New Jersey is 9.4 million. You can put 75 New Jerseys into Alaska, and the small ship luxury is just a terrific way to experience Alaska. Okay, so just real quickly, I'm just going to review our webinar specials. We have, as Amelie said, the free upgrade to the business class air, the unlimited shore excursions, unlimited beverages, open bar, prepaid gratuities, free transfers, free unlimited Wi-Fi, valet laundry service. Now, each suite will have up to $600 stateroom credit from Best Cruises and Tours. Some of the dates are 400, some of them are 600. We also will have a discount. What you're seeing is some of the pricing on the screen. We actually selected 4 key dates, 1 northbound and 3 southbound. And these are the dates where we can maximize our amenities. And the pricing you're seeing listed is for the deluxe veranda category G, which is the one Amelie showed you with over 300 square feet. And as you move up in category, if you so desire, your amenities will increase. So reminder to take advantage of these special offers. We have to make our reservation by August 17th.
And Jeff, if I may, because I really want to touch base on something that really highlighted my vacation. We talk about $600 shipboard credit, but you just said everything is included. What are you going to use your shipboard credit for? You can use it for spa. You can use it for personal shopping. I personally used it to enhance my excursion, and I took an airplane to go. When I did the cruise tour, I was able to upgrade and do the airplane tour to the glacier. So you can use actually that shipboard credit and pre-book enhanced excursion if you want to. So that's a big perk, a big plus.
Yes, so just to digress, what Amelie is saying is that the all those excursions that were listed are included. However, there is another group of excursions that are enhanced excursions that are offered at a reduced rate. And you can use that $600 stateroom credit for that. And basically, that's the story. So if we like this and are excited, so how do we move forward? So here's how we move forward. This is our contact information. And as a reminder, we will be sending you this information in an email within, I'd say, 24 hours. But these are our, Ruth is my wife, and she's been to Alaska, I think only 25 times, that's all. And Larry and Denise have been to Alaska, are our Alaska experts. So if we like what we see, we want some more questions answered, by all means, please give us a call, and we will go over everything that we need to. So let's see if we have any questions, Amelie, before we say goodbye. Give me a second and I'll have a look.
Yeah, and while you do that, I'm going to stop the recording as well. Thank you all for listening to the recorded version.
Okay,